Alright, re-rolling. Flies. My mortal enemy, the flies. Noisy. Goody goody. Yeah, I'll save this now. Oh, yeah, I'll save some data. Set skill. Skill what? Okay. Yes, I am the Micah Hawk. Welcome back to Micah Hawk Games and Dangan Ronpa. Trivia Hack, we have it.
With a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Yes.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone.
Yes, this is the class trial for the murder.
And the one
Taka
that
and
deceived
Hifumi.
everyone else will graduate. Now then.
Do we have to go over that every single time now?
Begin with.
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try
Doesn't
and deny
actually
it.
mean a
You
whole
killed
lot.
them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I
There's
don't know anything
just-
about it!
There's so much evidence that goes into this kind of stuff.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit.
Right?
Parts we assume were used to build it,
Right.
and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Just one crime.
I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer? Or, before anything else, we have to make that clear. Alright, what's my bullets? Robo Justice costume, Yasuhiro's message, and Robo Justice blueprints.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts.
Oh my
they
god,
are
look how
all
steady
proven
that
out
A is.
that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Compelling evidence that Hiro's the killer. Is that really true?
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room.
Shoot!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about this. It's not true! It's
Hiro, why?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room.
Shoot!
Everything we found, the blueprints, the suit parts, that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's
I might need some help on this one.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
This one is confusing me, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just... I might need some help on that.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second.
Everything we found in your room.
Shoot!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different.
Wrong
Wouldn't you
thing.
say?
I was thinking about a different thing.
When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
That's easier said than done.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Then who
What?
was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
No.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
That was Hiro. And of course he passes it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
I got it! Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
The frame
What
job.
you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And
Is
what
it?
reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes.
I hate to say that Celeste is
Before
actually
we
my
get to
favorite.
that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would
Yes.
seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items.
The tarp and the doll.
Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I got it! I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right? So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there.
Right. It's all well and good.
But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
Right.
Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change your mind. What she's saying is also wrong, because Makoto's kind of been the crux of every Clash trial up to this point. Yes. Reloading. More ingredients to the recipe. Okay, on the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Here, how you destroy your opponent's statements, but for now, just locking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing dead. Just like locking on, you have to press it in time with the tempo marker. Okay, basically, just remember that the dead has a function along with... Okay, you'll automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all, in which case you can ignore everything I just said, which I'm not. I'm set to normal. Well then, good luck and have fun. I don't like these. I'm not good at it. I'm good at it up until...
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You miserable wretch.
Bullet meshing.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree.
Okay. Nobody leaves me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Oh, I hate that shit so much.
I refuse to give up
Like,
yet.
it's one thing to have the timer where you can see shit, at least for a little bit at the beginning, so you can kind of get the rhythm down. But just upping tempo without being able to see what's actually going on is Fucking
You have it wrong.
stupid.
I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I hate
You're
it.
asking for proof that the dolly moved. I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread.
Did we check that?
The killer
Or did we just check that there was
probably
blood on
rolled
the dolly and that there were
through
tracks
on
in the blood
accident
stain?
as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository.
Sure.
So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Okay. Does she really hate me that much?
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
probably.
that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Right.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
Oh, God.
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported...
Because if it was on the dolly that low, there's no way in hell that the person in the robot suit could have done that because it doesn't bend at the waist.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp,
Oh, whoa.
then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Shoot!
No, that was a good contradiction. Don't.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from
Oh,
there,
whoa.
the body was moved to the
Oh my God, it was 10
repository,
seconds for
correct?
every one of those.
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong.
That's why we listen first. I feel smart, y'all.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think
Well,
back
yeah.
to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember? When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
when you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
Just gonna skip through that. Again, you can watch the videos if you need to.
It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
More stuff. I'm just gonna
So
let
long
you
as
guys
those facts
watch the
exist,
videos for.
the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Sure.
Instead of
Yeah.
seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate
I
events.
want to
from
know
the
who does
beginning.
Sakura's voice.
Maybe we'll
She
uncover
did.
something
Whoever
new.
it is did a fantastic job.
What a pain in the ass!
Because like most of these characters, I can imagine with a
disagree,
different voice,
our
but
lives
not
are on the
her.
line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone.
Right. No
That
problems
was
yet.
around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
How would you remember that?
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also
It's so
soon
smooth.
became clear
You can't even
that
see
the
it.
same Robo
It's
Justice
just,
had abducted Hifumi.
Blackout curtain. Back here.
We were soon
case
joined
anybody's
in our
wondering.
search by Byakuya and Toko,
Curtain.
and then went on to find Hifumi in the library.
Curtain.
He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
When
I'll
Celeste
get him.
told us that, we
I'll get
decided
him.
to split up and search the second floor.
Eventually.
And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled
This is just a
out
recap
to
of what all's
everyone
happened,
as
so
soon
I
as I
don't worry
did.
about missing anything.
and then...
She has a lot of hair.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement.
Where's that fly?
I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time,
Right.
because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
Right. God damn, this recap is taking almost as long as I actually did to play through.
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Finally, we're back to the present time. Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. Have to find out no matter what. Recaps put me to sleep. Make my argument. My truth bullets are broken wristwatch on Akuma File number 3 and Yasuhiro's message. I think it's going to be the broken wristwatch.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
It's
We
before.
already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
It's not true.
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Maybe not.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Oh, was that not it? Okay. I may need to turn for help for this again.
Shoot!
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
Oh,
Or
I wonder
perhaps it was
if this is one of
after?
those ones.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I mean,
So, regarding Taka's
yeah,
death,
no, I see it now.
I wonder
I
if
see
he
it.
died before
I got the right
Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's wrong.
Like, you could go 4-3 or 1-2. Like, 23 is the number one from Ocarina of Time, right?
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
Exactly.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order,
Right.
but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Well, yeah.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Wristwatch. Alright, because you have to go in order.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night,
Going over this again.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night,
Oh,
then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And
I wonder if
that
that's
would be
one of
his
the things I
official
might have
time of
skipped.
death.
I can't remember.
But if that's
Oops.
true,
Maybe I
he
shouldn't have
was
skipped
killed
that.
well before Hifumi.
Oh,
And
well.
before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those Justice Hammers.
Justice Hammer!
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
True.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
I just skipped the
When we
recap
heard
bullshit.
Hifumi screaming,
If
we
we
were
missed
all
it, we
together,
missed it.
except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Not exactly.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
Because he moved himself.
And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is... we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
Exactly.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Yes!
But I mean,
I've said that a few
we
times,
found
actually.
His body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
It's exactly possible.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
There's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead.
You're gonna fast forward a bit.
Surely you heard the body, the Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Fast forwarded a little too far.
Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body, the Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong. Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
And the second announcement
That's right.
played.
It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We were asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Yeah.
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice. I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Still haven't found exactly where I'm at.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually
Very
being discovered for the first time.
so when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
Exactly.
Meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Exactly.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The bloody glasses cloth in the garbage.
I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
What?
That is the worst logic I have ever heard.
Yeah.
But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Oh. A little too early. Okay.
Shoot! Well, here's one thing. The first time we found him, and then, while me and Celeste, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong.
See, I knew that was coming.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
Yeah, for real.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
These dishes is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
There's a lot of circle talking in these.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see.
Yeah.
Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes
Copious
possible,
corpse.
wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably
That's
used
why I was
one
trying
of
to
those.
look in the fridge.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
He's pretty fast for a fat guy.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw
Got
his
him.
chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Yes.
But that means he took part in the murders.
Yep,
I just can't believe it.
I can.
If you're having trouble,
He was skeezy.
would you like me to show you one
He
more
gave me
piece
the
of evidence?
EBGBs ever since we met him. Also, now that I have
There's
like,
more?
I'm gonna show off a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at this thing.
The single biggest fact
gorgeous.
pointing to his involvement
It's not
is yet
as
to be
gold.
revealed.
It's kind of just a bright orange.
You know what I'm talking about,
but
right,
the light
Makoto?
makes it look
The item
not
he took
great.
off of
I'm gonna see
Taka's
if I can.
lifeless body.
That's better-ish. Yeah. It's close enough. Yeah, it's pretty nice, right? It's got the paddles on the back. This is from Scuff Game. Oh. Looking for something.
I got it!
There we go.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
That's a pretty nice little thing.
Hidden
Works great
note?
for Warframe and like shooters
That's right.
and stuff.
We found it
Helps a
stuffed
little
in
bit
his
with this game because I can reprogram these to be any of the other
In
buttons.
his pants?
Yes.
It's a really nice little thing.
Pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for
And
now. Take a look at what
very
the note
durable. I've
says.
already dropped it. I don't even know how many times. And it still functions perfectly. I've had even like mainline controllers that just don't.
That's the note
You know,
I
they
was
have a
telling
page
you
where you
about.
can
The one that
customize
told me
these
where
to
to
make
go.
them like your own, as much as you can.
Huh?
With
Wait,
you know, some
this
options.
one's a little different.
But it's pretty nice.
In my note it said,
Highly recommend them.
Monokuma can't find out,
Are they
so
perfect? No,
don't tell
they're
anyone
a
else for
corporation.
now.
They have problems.
Let's meet in the
but
rec room at 1
It's one of the better
a.m.
ones I've found.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro.
Yep, Taka.
And that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I
Why?
don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Huffy?
Um,
Huffy?
just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
She's not that scary. She's just a little bitch with scissors. I don't actually know how she's killed anybody. Unless she has like super psycho strength. Oh, I have no idea what's gonna be. Oh boy.
Right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
Damn it.
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok! Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter.
Yes,
The
it
note
does.
has nothing to do with TikTok.
No, it's
There we
wrong.
go. That's a pretty good that's a pretty big contradiction there.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The
What
note
you talking
said
about
to meet
was-
at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
That's where we found his body the first time.
Taka was killed.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note.
Yep.
I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections.
No further objections.
Then someone
Ah,
used that
she's
note
annoying.
to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
Break her like pencil.
The culprit really is
Somebody
a cold-blooded
break her
monster.
like pencil.
Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Disposing of evidence.
No less.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then,
How did he
who
move?
killed Hifumi?
Whoever did
He's got
is the
all that
mastermind,
on those tiny little
the
twigs.
true
How does he
killer.
move?
He was
Like, his
killed in
legs
the
should have broke.
repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
I forgot how
During that
long
time,
some of
we'd all
these
split up and
trials
were
are.
searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And
You're
what
not
might
smart
that
enough to be bothered.
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
Yeah. Holy shit,
So if
he's actually
Hifumi
smart.
was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi,
wash it and put it back.
Put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
That doesn't mean a whole lot, dude.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
This one's easy. Now see, there it is, spotless hammer. It's exactly what I was looking for.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3?
Nope.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon?
I don't think they
How
were.
did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear.
Can I actually do
The
that?
murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
No, it's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
Not really.
But seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
I think they used those as a design and painted them.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not? Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive.
The color of television.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is...
No, it's wrong! Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan.
This has been going for an hour and almost 10 minutes now.
Accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
That's
Which, if
quite some
true,
time. This is a
means that
long class
betraying
trial. This
Hifumi
might be
was
the
part of
longest
the
video
plan
in this
from the very
series.
beginning.
But that's just
Possibly by quite a bit,
awful.
actually.
How could anyone be so cruel?
So, I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Of course you did. Yeah, I'm not in love.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Oh, fuck off.
Sorry.
Don't
As he
apologize.
said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
They did a really good job on drawing the eyes, but that's like the best part of the art here. Like, all of the characters do have really pretty eyes for
We
being
headed
anime
to the second
characters.
floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said? Once she'd done her job of getting us, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to push that button.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything.
It only even starts to become
whole
somewhat
thing was
suspicious
one
given
big
the circumstances that we're in
Yeah.
right now.
You were with Celeste when
Because, I mean, there was
Hifumi's body
the
disappeared,
hammer
right?
there. My thought would have been, like, that hammer's
Yeah.
too clean to have been a murder
I was
weapon.
feeling kind of sick, so Celeste
But,
took me to the bathroom.
You know.
Wait, then that was.
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
Which one?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's
that one.
office.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Because even I was saying, like,
Attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us
because like she could have been talking about Sayaka
So Sakura and
and
I left with Makoto.
like the colloquialism, those guys.
Once we were in the
but,
hall,
yeah.
we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office.
Yeah, I was suspicious of it too.
Now,
like that I have
the
that in
entire
common with
time
him.
we were together,
kind of a dick.
none of us said anything
Oh, well.
about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is all.
And that's all it takes to finish. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
No, it's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died.
Again,
When
she could
said
have been
that,
talking about
none of us had
Sayaka
told her Taka was
and
dead.
Chihiro.
Exactly. And we
Just
didn't
kind of like
run
as the
into her until after
colloquialism.
we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance
But
for
that
her
is
to
kind
have
of the
seen
first
his
jump,
body
so-
in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Those guys really, it's a
You all have such
colloquialism.
vivid imaginations.
Very commonly
you know
used.
That?
This is some like
Imagination.
preschool level
You
logic
claim
here,
that I
but
was lying when I told you about the suspicious
follow it.
person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
faked.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Staged.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
No.
If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
It's Hifumi
What would you
dragging
possibly mean by
Hiro to
that?
the locker.
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I
I'll
would
put my
say it's a
blanket
picture
cloak
of
black on because
Hifumi
it is
dragging
getting
the
kind
suspect
of chilly
away.
down here. I got some
That's certainly
cracks in
within
my
the realm of
windowsill right here,
possibility.
and it's December now, and
The one being
shit's
dragged
getting
off in that picture
really,
isn't Hifumi, but
really
the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
I'm a queen size burrito
That's
boy.
what happened! You put me to sleep
I'm
and
warm
made
and
me out
comfy
to
and
be
you
the
ain't.
bad guy in all this.
Well, I don't know. You probably are. You're watching this on YouTube. Who knows where you're watching it? Could be from your bed, on your TV, could be on your computer.
Such a thing
But I hope where you are,
is
you're warm.
utterly impossible.
Well, warm enough
Hifumi
and
was
comfortable.
dragging him away?
Because my comfortable
Ridiculous.
temperature is honestly about
Is
40
it?
to 50 degrees.
I don't think it's
And
ridiculous
currently
at all.
it's, in this particular one,
Then
it's probably
shut your
closer to
mouth
30.
and allow me to
Or
educate
like, you know, upper 30s at least, which is a little colder than I'm comfortable with. But, you know. No, that is not. What are we heading into? Make my argument. Oh, God. Okay.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out.
I think maybe...
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, that's wrong.
Because the suit doesn't bend.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying? When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Oh, her
Said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right.
her
My
voice
name
goes
isn't really
way
Yasuhiro.
higher pitch when she
It's
lies.
actually
Finally got her tell.
Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name you
Reasonable.
said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What?
I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Gotta make her accept it. Really only acceptable in this particular, but in this particular instance.
Hifumi was
It's
trying to tell us something.
a little off.
He wanted us
outside
to
of
know
that,
the
I think.
killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
There it
No,
is.
that's wrong. That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before. So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
That's right there, so that's not that. Why are there so many from these older ones? God damn. Maybe. Which one would go here? Yes. What would go there? This? Seems to match that. Oh no, so this one would go here. Oh no, this one goes here, this one goes here. Maybe? Am I... Yeah, I'm missing this.
The killer is you!
We'll see how I did.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. that someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
I might have got this one wrong. Yeah. Okay, so that one's wrong. This one was just his hammer number 4.
The killer is you! And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story.
There were holes in that too,
The
though.
second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
Okay, got that one wrong too. That's fine. Maybe this?
the killer is you!
Skipping to where we were. There we go.
While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was
I
for
should have looked
Hifumi.
closer at that image.
We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
Oh, I got this one wrong. Okay, I see it now.
Here's exactly what happened. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
What is with this transition?
Celeste. Sorry, you lose.
Very snappy.
Lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
As horrible as she is, this is actually one of the reasons I do actually like her, at least a little bit. B! I thought I did pretty good.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
If you hadn't killed anyone...
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I like her, okay. She was a pretty cool character. But this is not, like, the worst one.
Honestly.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine who would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty. Lying. My specialty. Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to
So
agree.
then,
Did you use, you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi tagged as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean? Is she talking about Alter
Say
Ego?
what?
What? What are you talking
Just a
about?
second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How
In
sad.
other words,
Then you're the one who stole it? That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it had disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you. Alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with
It was
this?
Taka. He stole it.
So
And I
then-
have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course. So it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You're correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
As for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me. He did?
as for me,
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me. What? And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice. That's a crime, an absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm gonna kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, he'll be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target. What? Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try and kill you.
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard! Bastard!
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She...
Swear,
I have to save her!
actually,
Then would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Yeah? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do is make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. Oh, I feel like I could cry. But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him
Are
live?
you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed it. Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along? But of course. There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. How can human life mean so little to you? Oh, that's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean.
Now you sound like Byaku.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far? Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true, but that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape. But all along you've been saying how I have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
Little
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. Do you want to know why,
This is
huh?
fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
It was all for that dream. And what was this dream
isn't
of
it
yours?
wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. And that's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. Got right to the
There
edge,
is nothing
but
to be done.
unfortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends
Oh.
for it? Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel
Do
nothing.
you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying, and plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even feel my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not
Yes,
scared? That's
indeed.
right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice
Isn't it
then,
wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey,
You'd just get executed again. Big fake smiles.
Chills! Chills!
You all done? Okay, then let's get
chills!
rolling. The black and disturbed the peace and must pay the
Now
price.
then, I
Now then,
prepared a very special punishment.
for her, the ultimate
Let's
gambler.
give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why, actually, it's not important. Well then, take care everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Kind of ironic what she said about burning Kyoko alive. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along, isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
And what do I care about hope? I'll just throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine. What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? Mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean? Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here. Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying living your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later.
See ya! Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave you? Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. What? Then that means Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go
Indeed.
check. Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. Fly. Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why, exactly, are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So, Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah,
So then,
we need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw... Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I'd never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please just wait a while longer. So, now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure. Can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please, tell me. What are you trying to do all on your own here at the school? Is that why you wanted to come in here with me?
however...
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? It just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like, what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation, when you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No, I believe in
What?
you. You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more.
That's
then,
fine.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see? What I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I'd told Kyoko I believed in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she'd told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back, she said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? We're about to find out. A 2-hour video. I do not normally do this, but it's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. Secret Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet, but I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked in, gashunk. At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall, and I had no idea what was going on. Ba-bum. I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door, and I'd made my way to the other side. Just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet, and in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? I mean, this is all stuff worth investigating. It's just a normal desk with normal drawers. There's a bunch of files and what looked like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. Strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? A strange sound rang throughout my head. I felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth, and then darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. With that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ow! Apparently, something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room and get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back towards my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. The farther I walked, the more I felt things are getting blurry. Can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there, and after that, as if from a vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. A sound, it's coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Here in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Before me raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be? The mastermind spy is Sakura Ogami. To be continued. Yeah, we'll pick it up there next time. For now, though, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Oh, because I locked it. Maybe if I... Yeah, there we go. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, comment, subscribe, share the video, and then smack that like button hard as you can, yeah? And, yeah. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.